Common sense buffs. It's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you without some dope content to react to. We're back again in the film room doing some film study. Now, FanDuel has Colorado at 4.5 wins this season. And if you look at just last year, you might understand why. But after watching Brennan Marion's go-go offense on film, I think they are completely missing what this offense is built to do. Because this offense is not just about scoring points. This offense is designed to create explosive plays, and more importantly, it's designed to set up those explosive plays just like a great boxer. And if Colorado is hitting explosives consistently, this is not a 4.5 win football team. Big shout out to Bucky. Big shout out to Well Off Media for the opportunity to react to this video. The biggest thing that should stand out when you watch this go-go offense is how it keeps defenses guessing. Every look builds off the last one, and that's what creates hesitation, and hesitation is what leads to big plays. So let's go ahead and start right here by looking at this very first clip. All right, watch how they set it up here. Isaac Wilson is at quarterback. Micah Welch is the inside man. DeKalen Taylor lined out up to the outside. Now, traditionally, as I've seen the go-go offense in other clips, these running backs are lined up a little bit closer to the running back. So they've kind of pushed them out a little bit wider, almost a little bit wider than the left guard here. I believe this is Bo Hughley. Yaya Atia. I think this is Sean Kinney. This might be Javon McFadden. I think this is Taj White. And we got a tight end here lined up in the backfield. Now watch the action, because this is how they set up the option for the explosive play. Now, they bring the tight end across the formation, and then they run Micah Welch back across the face of the defense. Again, as you see these linemen attempting to climb up to the second level, you'll see Micah take the ball up the dive. Now, here's the thing. Sean Kinney, it looks like Javon McFadden are at the second level. Micah breaks this first tackle, but watch this for what's going to happen when Micah Welch has a big run later on in these clips. Not only does he want to come across the face of the defense and go to the right with this action, he wants to see if he can find a cutback lane here. You'll see why this cutback lane is very, very important on this play. This is not just to be a dive for a couple of yards. This is a dive to come across the face of the defense, find the cutback lane and a potential explosive. Let's watch it. There's the cutback lane, but he gets tackled. Let's watch it again. Comes across the defense, tries to find the cutback lane here. It's not there. Big hit by Brennan Edwards. Now, same alignment. Okay, this time they bring the two running backs offset much closer. This time almost right behind the quarterback. And now they have the tight end here in the traditional tight end position on the line of scrimmage. Now, remember the last play I believe they ran on the left hash. They've set this up now because now they want to run wide. So because they have so much respect now for Micah up the gut, let's watch what happens to the defense, particularly the defensive end who this Isaac Wilson is going to be reading here. Okay. So this guy here, let's go back. Okay, the tight end actually tries to seal off the defensive end, which he does successfully. And so now Isaac Wilson is reading the second level. After he reads, right, or maybe even this is not even a read, this is just an action here to get the defense thinking is going to go to Micah with the goal of getting to the outside. You're going to see everybody kind of crash inside because they're trying to get to this run on the inside. And now he's going to take the option to the outside and go for a home run play here. Let's watch it. That's Boo Carter. Boo Carter is going to come right here. He's going to get eyes inside. He's going to crash down, and this is what allows this play to go to the outside. He pitches it on time. He's out there still blocking, and DeKalen Taylor has the home run speed. Love to see it. Okay. They got the linebackers, because they're forcing them to respect the inside run. The linebackers are thinking downhill. The safeties are starting to creep inside. The defense commits, and they pay the price. Okay? So that's how they actually set up this play, using Micah on the dive play to the right and then try to cut back, see if he can create an explosive that way. But then with the respect for Micah up the gut, now they go to DeKalen Taylor to the outside. This is what I mean, that Brennan Marion is not just calling plays, he's setting them up to make the defense react in the way that he wants them to react. All right? So now let's find our second clip here. This is later on in the practice. Remember how I said, watch the cutback. Let me play this Micah Welch play again, where he does not find the cutback. Okay? He's looking for it. He doesn't find it. Great play by the defense to get the tackle. Let's go now to where he does find that cutback, but it's out of a different formation. Same action, different formation. Let's watch it. All right, now this is Keneal Sweetwine at quarterback. He's lined up with Micah in a single back, okay? You're going to see he's going to hand the ball off. Micah's coming up off on the right side. He hits the hole hard, gets to the second level, and watch him actually find the cutback lane here that he was looking for the first time. Let's watch it. There's the cutback lane right there. Okay. That was just not a dive play the first time. They were setting this up. There's the cutback lane, and he's to the house. Okay. First glance, it looks like a standard run up the middle. The defense is going to flow hard to the front side of the play, and that's exactly what Brennan Marion wants. He didn't get it on that first play. He's going to try to get it a different way in a different formation, right? Creating that cutback lane, so once he hits the lane, he's now able to create another explosive play. So this is not, you're not going to be watching Colorado and, you're not going to be excited as a fan. You're going to have an opportunity to really cheer for these guys when they're making plays over 30 and 40 and 50 yards, both in the run and in the pass. Okay? And explosives don't always have to come from trick plays. Sometimes they just come from forcing the defense to get out of position. Now I'm going to show you what it looks like in the pass game. All right? And I'm going to show you how he sets up an explosive in the pass game. All right, now one of the go-go offensive principles is using motion and screens, getting the ball to your playmakers in the flat in the screen game, especially wide receivers. But earlier in this practice, I don't show it. They threw, it was a pass to the flat to Bryce Hicks, and he scores a touchdown. So the defense is acutely aware of Brennan Marion trying to get the ball into the flats, into his playmakers. We're going to watch him do that here. I believe he does it with Cam Perry. And then he gets the DBs to bite. And you'll see how he also used aggressive wide receiver blocking to create explosives. Watch the motion here by Cam Perry. They get the ball out to him in the flat. It's third and short, and he gets to the sticks. Now, it's working for them reliably the whole practice. Right? These flat route concepts. Okay, so they throw the flat early in the practice, they get a first down. Throw the flat early in the practice, get some positive yards. Throw the flat early in the practice, running back goes for a touchdown. So now the DBs, and Coach Prom is encouraging them, hey, you got to be aggressive, you got to be aggressive, you got to be aggressive, you got to make plays. Brennan Marion is about to now play on the DB's aggressiveness. I don't know if this is the immediate next play after that flat play, but now the DBs are like, no. I'm not going to get blocked. In fact, let me show you the blocking on this play. Watch the motion. Watch the blocking by the wide receivers. Okay. These guys are on the chase right here. Cam Perry has the speed to get to the corner. Tight end here, great block, right? He has a great block on Boo Carter. You're going to see the wide receiver here getting in the way of R.J. Johnson, right? Great blocking. If this is the very next play, you can see how this was set up because now the cornerbacks are peeking inside. And what I suspect happened is probably the wide receiver goes out and pretends like he's going to block, because that's the only explanation for how badly this DB gets beat, is that he's thinking pass to the flat, and the wide receiver really sells the attempted block and then takes off downfield. Watch this play. You could almost see the DB here getting up. He almost like he was on the ground, kind of, right? Like he was coming up because he was going to take on some contact, and he just gets beat deep. Look at the separation right here. Right? This is somebody who got caught looking inside and got beat deep. Another explosive play. Touchdown. Touchdown. As soon as the quarterback sees that he's going to bite in the flat, he lets the ball go deep, and that's a touchdown over the top. This is the kind of chess match that I love seeing Brennan Marion play, because you show them something early in the practice, you have some success with it, and then you punish them for reacting to it by offering a new variation that isn't explosive. Okay? Now, I only wanted to do 3 clips here, but I found one late in my film review that I wanted to give you guys as a bonus clip here. This is another version of that very same option play that they ran earlier that DeKalen Taylor took for a touchdown. Now, he asks for the ball on the middle hash. So remember, first time he was on the left hash, he gave it to Micah, try to get him to find that cutback lane. The ball was on the right hash, and he now ran option to the wide side of the field. You'll see him from the middle hash now run option to the left side of the field with slightly different personnel. Okay? So, again, okay, you have to, as a defense, as a linebacker, call this out, right? So now you got Le'Veon Bell, you got Yaya, you got Hunter, Soto, and I think this is Larry Johnson back at his original position of right tackle. There's a real battle for right tackle going on here. The tight end is now on this side of the field, and as you can see, Micah is lined up almost exactly as they were when they went to the house on that pit. Somebody on the defense, a safety or something, needs to be calling this out. Remember, last time when they gave the dive to Micah, they were out wider in this 2 running back set, or he was in single back when they gave it to him on dive. When they wanted to run this option wide, this is the formation they were in. This is a miss here by your linebackers or your safeties or whoever's supposed to be calling it out, because what do? They run the exact play with action away, and then they're running the option to the opposite side. There it is. He pulls it. He pitches it late. Still a big play. All right, guys. So I do not want to belabor the point. You get what I'm saying. When you put all of this together, this is an offense that's constantly putting stress on a defense. Not just physically, but mentally. They're forcing these players to have to think, to read, and to recognize. And the only way that you're really going to have a chance against the Go-Go is if you can recognize some of this stuff pre-snap. Because if you're trying to recognize what they're doing with motion and misdirection and all of these different personnel groupings, you're going to be reacting a little bit late. They have the defense thinking, not playing like you want to see your defense play, which is fast, and that's when the explosive plays are happening. So this is why this 4.5 win projection doesn't really add up to me, because if this offense continues generating explosives like this, you're talking about a team that can realistically score 30 plus points per game. And if Colorado is doing that consistently, this is not a 4-win team. Bare minimum at 30 plus points per game, they're winning 7 games or better. Now, it's still early. This has to translate to Saturdays, but based on what I'm seeing right now, this offense has the potential to completely change the conversation around Colorado football. So please meet me in the comments. Let me know what you think about this breakdown. And if you think we're looking at the makings of a 30-plus point offense and a better than a 4.5 win team. Thank you for joining me. Until next time, peace.